Alright, y'all, what's up? It's your boy Romance. Coming through with another morning banger. On the world according to Romance, gotta be quiet. People are sleeping in this house. Alright, number one, tonight, live, Club 313, Gemini Rain, 9 to 12. Please come check it out. We're gonna rock Bethlehem. The World According to Romance on YouTube. Please go to YouTube, look up The World According to Romance, and like and subscribe. I'm right now at 60 followers. I need to get that number up, and we are going to start taking over the world. Please like and subscribe to The World According to Romance. Okay, anyway, today's show is about it's really about Aboriginal people. Now, of course, I'm a historian, but every historian is also an ethnographer or an anthropologist, shall we say. So for years, I was one of the hip people, and I still am, because probably none of you know what the hell I'm talking about, or very few of you. But we're going to talk about the original inhabitants of the islands of Japan. Now, for years, I've always known that it was a people called the Ainu. And I heard a lot of different stuff about these people. I heard, well, they were the original, inhabitants of Japan, and they were black. But then I saw pictures of them, and a lot of them are almost white. And I heard a lot of white supremacists, because I believe that everyone is a human, no matter what they believe. So, and I try to be cool to some degree with everyone, or at least try to understand them. And a lot of white supremacists will tell you that white people were everywhere in the world. They got to America before cavemen. They fucking were pharaohs of Egypt. They started Sumeria. They everywhere. The Easter Island statues are white people. If you listen to that enough, they'll tell you that white people started everything. Just like if you listen to black, Afrocentric people, they'll tell you black people invented everything, and they were all first. But so I never knew what to believe, but I know what I saw. I mean, these dudes are not definitely. If you look at up the Ainu, they vary because some of them look almost Japanese because they intermixed for so many years. Some of them look damn near white. They have beard. A lot of them have beards and big bushy hair and shit, but they have white feet. They look like they're from I don't know, Russia or something like that. It is entirely possible that Caucasians got to Japan, and for many years that's what was thought. Okay, that they were somehow Caucasians that got lost and were there before the actual ancestors of the original Chinese or Japanese came from mainland China and colonized it, but that didn't happen until 300 BC. It was very recent, okay? Now, what I found out yesterday, and I believe this, and it's going to be a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, because a lot of people out there do not want to believe that, all humans were once the same. We all come from the same, original family, and then we look so different because we proliferated and we took over the entire world, and we had to adapt to all the different environments the world has to offer. When we first started out, the human race only lived in Africa, in the Old Divide Gorge in Kenya. So our bodies are attuned to that environment, okay? That's why room temperature is 71 degrees. That's about, and I'd say if you took the temperature over the course of a year in where we're from, it's probably something like 71 degrees. You know what I mean? That's why we're naked. That's why we're good. We're good swimming. We're different than all the other primates because of how we evolved. But anyway, pretty much you can believe what you want, but if you believe in modern anthropology, the scientific anthropology, all right, the human race was a race of there was an age of apes 10 million years ago. There was all different there was way more different kinds of monkeys, and there was apes that were bigger than apes are today. There was ones that there was humans that were smaller than humans. There were little hobbit-sized humans. There was all these. There was one called Gigantopithecus. There was Australopithecus, Java man, Peking man, the Neanderthals. We all heard of them. So there was a lot of proliferation with primates, and in the end, right around 2 million years ago, they all started getting wiped out. It's because humans started to rise and we started taking out our competition. And we're still doing that today. You know, I mean, lions, tigers, they're all going to be extinct. Elephants and shit, big animals. But it was during that time that we weren't as dominant as we were, and the exodus from Africa started happening and moving all to all parts of Africa. The human race really began. It's all archaeological evidence and paleontological evidence points to, like, the human race spent like a good period, most of its history in South Central Africa. Okay, that's where we came from. And right around about between like 80 and 60,000 years ago, the first migration, and it's starting to look like there was many. Wasn't like we just left and at once and everybody just, you know, and black people stayed in Africa and everybody else went somewhere else and became who they were. It was waves of migrations, and the first migration was believed to happen. It went north. They went to where Somalia, in Africa has that little horn thing sticking out on its like eastern edge, and it's almost like a little corner that Arabia fits into across the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea. It was there. If you look real close at the map, it's not too far to sail from like the Horn of Africa to like the corner of like the bottom of I guess Yemen or the United Arab Emirates or Saudi Arabia, whatever, Qatar, one of those countries is down there. So you walk, you know, they're slowly around, pretty much a ring around the Indian Ocean. They just kind of kept moving. So like if you go to India, there's some damn near black people in India. There's some like if you go to Papua New Guinea, they're black there. You know what I mean? A lot of the Polynesians, a lot of the early Hawaiians before white people got there, they were damn near black because they descended from this first migration of humans. And this was something that they populated. You know, there was no other humans, so we had the whole earth to ourselves at that point. And from, again, 70,000 BC, probably, you know, and more like this first race of humans, this first wave of humans that proliferated, they took over all of Asia. And genetically, okay, these Ainu are from a genetic standpoint, the only people that are even similar to them. They look white. They look exactly, but they have almost no European DNA. Their DNA, the closest things that there are, and all the other people there are on Earth to the Ainu, is there's a bunch of people that live in what's like the very top of the Himalaya. In, you know, in isolation, there's people that are almost exactly like the Ainu DNA wise, but they don't look like them. They're almost, you know, they're kind of almost like Chinese looking. Then there's another group of people who are almost similar to the Ainu and the Himalaya people DNA wise, but they're like black as night. They live in an island that's like completely, in islands that are like off of like Thailand that are like completely secluded. They don't even know there's other humans. They're like wild ass. They don't have contact with the rest of the world. I don't even believe that's possible anymore, but apparently it is. So there's these like three little pockets of these Ainu like people that don't look anything like the Ainu. And here is what happened. This is why I wanted to drag this out, and here's my point. There was one point where the whole of Asia was black. Okay, I know this is hard to believe. China was black, Japan was black. And they've been there. They were there they got there before any other humans mutated into any other race but black. While these first migrants were all over Asia, okay, 70,000 to God knows how long ago, maybe 10,000, maybe 20,000, whatever. Something bad happened. Something wiped most of them out on the mainland, okay? So that there's only these little pockets of them here and there, and they don't know about each other and shit. And during that 50,000 years, that is when the rest, like more waves came after them out of Africa. And those are the ones that proliferated and genes mutated, and some of them became Asians, and some of them became, I guess, what you would call Semites, Jews and Arab-looking people. Some of them became Caucasians. You know, we went on to proliferate the rest of the world and become all the different races. And what went on to become like what we call Asians, that segment of our race must have wiped out or conquered or through interbreeding, just weaseled them out of the DNA system or whatever. But like they conquered all this territory, took it all over, like the Chinese, the people who have the thing going on with their eyes. I really don't want to be demeaning racially, but Asian is a very vague term. I wish we wouldn't use that term because like every race of people on Earth lives on the continent of Asia. So it's unfair that we call the people whose eyes are like this the Asians, because there's lots of Asians who don't have eyes like that. I don't get that one. But anyway, they came in and moved in really recently, like probably like in the last 10,000 years is when like they made their move or their migration there. And then they displaced all, that's what you displaced all these other people. So the Ainu, while they were in Japan, when they first got there, they were black as shit. And they have their own history. They say that they were there for 100,000 years, and the children of the sun came and conquered them like 2,000 years ago or something like that, which sounds crazy because they got a translation from Ainu into Japan into English till we get the information. But the real deal is that they actually in Japan, those people who are the Ainu were black, but they adapted to their environment and became white all on their own just by adapting to their environment. And the rest of the people that were leaving Africa did that independently. The Europeans became Europeans in Europe, okay? What we now call Asians, we used to call them Mongolians, okay? That was the old name, and I guess that's somehow offensive, but they supposedly came from somewhere in Mongolia, and it's not too far away from, I think there is a common ancestor with Asians and European, like white people and Chinese people, for lack of a better term, or Oriental people. I guess that's an offensive term too, but anyway, the Ainu, they are not, while they look white, and while I thought for years they ethnically were white, and white boys started Japan or whatever you want to say, there is a race of they still do exist. They live on the northern island. It's called Hokkaido. There's 4 main islands of Japan. The big one's called Honshu. I forget what the other 2 are called, but those are in the south. But in the north is where you can see monkeys in hot springs. If you've ever seen pictures of little monkeys with snow on their heads while they're like like a sauna, that's Hokkaido, and that's where the Ainu live. So I just wanted to bring that to you, and that little bit of information. You should do some research on the Ainu yourself if you're interested. I dig Japan. I like their history. I like, despite the fact that both my grandfathers had to fight against them bastards, I got a lot of respect for their culture. So you guys have a great day. Remember Modern Romance, Gemini Rain tonight at Club 313. Please come check us out. Like, subscribe on YouTube, World According to Romance. Peace.